Oh shit.
Okay, so in this video, I will show you how to make a Flappy Bird game using the Unity game engine. The video is sped up because you don't want to watch me write code for 40 minutes straight. I've made sure that it is as clear and concise as possible so you can actually learn something. You'll find all related links in the description. And let's begin. First of all, you need to create a folder structure, then import the game assets, images and sounds into the project. I will leave a link to the assets I used in the description. Since the images are pixel art, make sure to adjust their parameters in the inspector as I did. Next, it's time to build our scene. I'll start with the background, which is the simplest one. By the way, note that the aspect ratio of the game is 9:16, and you can adjust that in the game view. Then, I'll make the pipes and attach some colliders. You'll notice that I use two tags. The danger tag for the game objects that will cause a game over when you collide with them, and a score tag for tracking the score. The ground is a bit special here. I decided to use a quad instead of a regular game object with a sprite renderer. The reason for that is because I want to control the texture offset, which we can't do with the sprite shader. In the code, you'll see how we can manipulate the texture X offset value to make the ground object look like it is moving. Of course, this is not the only way to do it, but this is how I do it here. For the bird, I add a circle collider and a rigid body to D. Notice that I made the bird's collider a trigger. Then, I'll set up the simple flap animation, which will play by default in a loop. Next is the UI. Thankfully, the UI here is just a simple text element for the score. Make sure to configure the canvas as I did to make it scale with the game view. Now, before we start coding, notice that I already created the 5 script files we'll need for the game. Here, I assign each script to its related game object. Note that the audio player script, as you may have expected, is used to play audio. It is the only script that we will not cover in detail in this video because it is straightforward and not specific to this game. Now let's start coding. I will begin with the main launcher script, which is attached to the main camera. You may have noticed that I already wrote some comments to help you and me avoid getting stuck. If I wrote something, just read the comment above it to understand what it is or what it does. Next is the bird script. Again, just read the comments. The basic logic for the pipes is that they move to the left at a certain speed, affected by a difficulty multiplier. This difficulty multiplier increments as time passes. Of course, it must have a maximum value. Whenever the pipes leave the game scene on the left side, I just reposition them to the right side of the game with a slightly offset Y position. Notice that the world size actually returns half the world size. I think this is because the world origin is at the center. For the ground, if you remember earlier, I said that we would manipulate the texture X offset to make it scroll infinitely. Here, I forgot to set the reset timer delay to 2, meaning that after a game over, the game will automatically restart after 2 seconds. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you learned something. You'll find the source code in the description, and if you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. Later.